We're live. Countdown. Hello, I'm Willie Bragg. Welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show, where I'm here to discuss politics. And today, we shall start with this and get prepared to be cringe, because there's more to talk about afterwards. So hold tight. Let me find what I need to find, and I apologize what I have to do, but trust me, there's a reason I have to do this.
She sits when a huckster takes some lies and makes them sound precocious by saying them in Congress or a mainstream outlet. So disinformation's origins are slightly less atrocious. It's how you hide a little lie. It's how you hide a little lie. It's how you hide a little lie. When Rudy Giuliani shared that intel from Ukraine, or when TikTok influencers say COVID can cause pain, they're laundering disinfo, and we really should take note and not support their lies with our wallet, voice, or vote. Oh, information laundering is really quite ferocious. It's when a huckster takes some lies and makes them sound precocious by saying them in Congress or a mainstream outlet. So disinformation's origin seems slightly less atrocious. Laundering is really quite ferocious. It's when a huckster takes some lies and makes them sound precocious by saying them in Congress or a
Okay, now that's done. That's Nina Jankowicz, who is going to be the head or the chair of the Disinformation Governance Board that's being established for the Department of Homeland Security. Nicknamed pretty much by most critics as the Ministry of Truth. And this came to my attention very recently. And it supposedly was established to combat misinformation, for what I can understand, abroad, and it was not supposed to be used domestically. But I had my doubts, and I am very uncomfortable with this. There is too much encroachment on civil liberties as it is in this country, and this is way more encroachment than it needs to be. And this is the kind of thing that exacerbate things like conspiracy theories, and that causes more misinformation out there to take place. And and then you add partisan politics to it, because this is Fox News wasted no opportunity to talk about it, pretending to be outraged by this Disinformation Governance Board. And mark my words, if Trump returns back to the presidency in January 25, or even worse, if Ron DeSantis get elected in 2024 and he's sworn in January 2025, it's not like they're going to get rid of this Disinformation Governance Board. Take note, liberals. Take notes. Just because your boy Biden created this entity doesn't mean it's benevolent and good. It doesn't mean that. I don't trust it under Biden, and I'm going to trust it even less when Republicans get their hands in, controlling this shit. And I'm not a fucking partisan hack. If by some miracle Bernie Sanders become president in 2024 and sworn in January 2025, I even wouldn't trust Bernie Sanders in charge with it either. I wouldn't trust anybody. It's best not to have something like a Disinformation Governance Board. I don't like misinformation. I don't like conspiracy theories, but I also do not like censorship. And this leads to censorship, fact checking, using mainstream corporate media to do the fact checks, using benevolent, so-called benevolent experts. The saying goes, who's going to fact check the fact checkers? And if this shit would have been around in the year 2002, and social media would have been around in 2002, and 9/11 would have happened as usual on the eve of the Iraq War, all the people who would have been against the Iraq War would have been sounding the alarm on places like social media. We'd have been fucking shut down. We would have been shut down. We would have been in fucking silence. And you know what? We were fucking right about the Iraq War. So, liberals, blue no matter who, checkmark libtards, you fucked up. You fucked up because this is going to bite you in the ass. You handed the Republicans the biggest gift you can imagine. They are anti-freedom, but you're going to make them look like they're lovers. You're going to make them look like they're card-carrying members of the ACLU and very civil libertarian, that when the first chance they get, when they clutch power, they're not going to listen to the Rand Paul wing of the party. And they're going to go and listen to the Marjorie Taylor Greene wing of the party. You liberals fucked up. Just saying. This it's part of the Department of Homeland Security, which was established under Bush and Cheney, which pretty much got rid of the Fourth Amendment. Pretty much made it useless. We're still a surveillance state to this fucking day. We got the Patriot Act that was supposed to be expired at a certain point. It was renewed. We've had this drug war for decades. Back in the 50s, all the way to the early 70s, we had COINTELPRO, which the government were spying on so-called radical organizations. In 2012, Mitt Romney threatened Obama that if you don't sign the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, into law, I will when I get elected. Of course, he did not get elected, but Barack Obama, like the pussy he was, he went and signed it into law because he was scared that he was going to look like he was soft on supposedly, some sort of terrorist threat. NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, basically it makes it easy for this country to be declared martial law and to have the government arrest people and to hold them in jail without charges up to several years. As I said, this is just bad optics all across the board. And I'm just, I hope that the ACLU will go and fight this. And I don't ACLU, any organization that focuses on civil liberties and constitutional rights. See how horrible this is. I hope that the people in the Supreme Court, regardless of their ideology, will realize how terrible this is. I hope this gets taken up to the Supreme Court and struck down. Who's to decide what truth is? I think that private health insurance companies murder people. But you know what? If they don't hear me, even though I'm an irrelevant YouTube person yelling at online streaming, some piece of shit from the insurance company gets their fees hurt, wanting a safe space, they can go to this Ministry of Truth and say, Willie Bragg is saying that we murder people. They can shut me down. So, this is really disturbing. The Espionage Act back in 1917 arrested anti-war people back, World War I. I think it's still in the law books today. In the last several years, almost half the states in this country, it is a criminal act to participate in boycotts against Israel. In other words, if you're advocating boycotting, purchasing products from Israel, you can be fined up to $250,000, seriously, and put in prison up to 20 years. That is part of the law. A speech therapist in Texas, a Palestinian speech therapist in Texas, lost her job because she would not sign a loyalty oath to Israel. See where I'm going with this? This is the kind of shit that's going on. And then you add on top of things like Disinformation Governance Board. It's just very alarming. Very alarming indeed. And what I'm concerned about is it looks more and more like George Orwell. We're living George Orwell's 1984. And it's indeed sad. It really is. It's not just in the United States. Around the world, it's just kind of the trend. It's really been a trend for the longest time. And societies go through their ups and downs in that regard. They do. They go through their ups and downs in that regard. And eventually, they end up, people end up trying to do away with these repressive laws, and they win eventually. But sometimes it's at a tremendous cost. And I don't care what side of the fence you're on. If you're some kind of a civil libertarian on the left and on the right, in the center, you're a right to privacy kind of a person, you're a free speech kind of person, you like the idea of a free society, and you don't like the idea of this kind of level of government overreach. I don't think it's too much to ask that, people can work together and put aside some personal differences, because this is a bad precedent that was being set here. I've often said, and I'm a loud, unrepentant, loud leftist. I am. It's my identity. I eat, sleep, and drink leftism, because this country's so fucking far to the right, especially in economics. And I want to see this country move further left in economics. I want to see this country do that, and in some areas on social issues, I want to see this country move further left too. I'm a big proponent of abolishing capital punishment, for example, because I'm an advocate for human rights. I'm seeing alarming things around the world, like the social credit system in China. And that is alarming. But you know what? In a roundabout way, the United States kind of encouraged that shit. Because we are a society that's obsessed with punishment. And so every mistake you make in today's America, they're going to make damn sure you pay for it. And so across the pond, across the Pacific, China noticed that, and they were like, well, we can do that here too. And so they're going to go make good citizens with this social credit system. The United States have done that in a very crude way. You commit a crime, you depending what it is. Sometimes it could really fuck your life up, and you're deprived of opportunity. You can't go, and sometimes you're deprived of the right to vote. Sometimes your job opportunities are not there, and your rights as a citizen, your rights to your constitutional rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is deprived from you, even when you pay your debt to society, if you go to prison for whatever crimes you commit. And that's the kind of thing that goes on in this country. And I know I'm pontificating, but this kind of did connect with this Disinformation Governance Board, because everything is upset. Everything centers around, getting people for whatever reason, making sure we get you, making sure we punish you. And we're a revenge society when we do decide to punish. I mean, look at Governor DeSantis down in Florida. And what did he do? Last week or a week and a half ago, he goes and punishes Disney for daring to say, we don't like your law. And all it is optics. And then they're trying to paint it out that if you oppose the Don't Say Gay bill, then all of a sudden you're some kind of enabler for pedophilia, which is a roundabout way to say that the LGBTQ community and their straight allies are enablers of pedophilia. And that is mean, vicious politics. It's revenge politics. It is partisan politics. And it's partisan grandstanding because Governor DeSantis wants to become president in 2024. And if that motherfucker becomes president in 2024 with this Disinformation Governance Board, liberals, remember where you heard it first. When you realize you got something worse than Donald Trump from 2017 to 2021 in your hands, you're going to realize having things like this Disinformation Governance Board ain't the answer. As much as I didn't like Paul Ryrich, the late Paul Ryrich of the Heritage Foundation when he was alive, when 9/11 happened, he joined the ACLU right away. Why, of all people, would Paul Ryrich join the ACLU? A man who was part of the religious right, an economic corporatist, a neoconservative, just an all-around movement conservative with the most unpleasant set of political beliefs you can imagine. Why in the world would he join the American Civil Liberties Union? When the Patriot Act took place, in 2001, he was really concerned about a President Hillary Clinton and her being in charge with the usage of the Patriot Act. At the time, I was thinking, man, that's kind of partisan. I mean, I didn't care for Hillary Clinton then. I mean, you think I hate Hillary Clinton? I mean, I didn't think I was going to hate Hillary Clinton to the level I did later on, to 2016. But I didn't like her back then. But I thought, man, what a partisan hack. I think he was onto something. He saw the writing on the wall. I mean, I actually would be just as scared of Hillary Clinton running this country with the usage of the Patriot Act as Paul Ryrich, from maybe a kind of a opposite leftist direction. But I feel the same way about Ron DeSantis. So anyway, I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I felt like I needed to touch on this, and it's wrong. I think it's wrong what Biden did. I oppose what he did. I hope that all civil libertarians from whatever political ideological corner you reside in, just put aside your differences for a little bit wherever you differentiate, and those who favor right to privacy, right to speech, right of political association, that sort of thing. Those who are opposed to the idea of a massive surveillance state that sits there and snoops into your private life and snoops and try to make sure whatever your information you're sharing that is supposedly accurate. Man, that's fucked up. That really is fucked up. Anyway, that's what I got to say about that right now for the moment. If you like what you heard, press like and comment. If you disagree, comment anyway. When you press like, apparently it affects the algorithm button. Please help us out in that regard. All of us independent content makers need all the help we can get with the algorithms fucking us over. One more entity that's actually, discriminating against us currently. It's not a meritocracy like it used to be. Hit that notification bell, hit that subscribe button, share that information. Let me conclude also saying that's the First Amendment absolutist to also go ahead, create your own platform and utilize it because we're the muckrakers of our time. And we have a class struggle to wage. We do. And until next time, we're Julian Assange. And that's another reason why we need to go and oppose this. Because, I mean, what happened with Julian Assange? Look what happened with Snowden. I mean, over the years. Honestly, people, we need to put a stop to this madness. Music.